Noticing that I usually don't have any kind of intro on these videos. And since I'm getting more adventurous and trying to learn how to work a little bit more with the iMovie, I decided to go back and introduce myself. My name is Christine. This video is, I titled it One Informs the Other because I have multiple projects going at the same time, like this video, my pottery, and Zettelkasting. And this is just to say hello before the video um, goes into my ramblings on my project. Right. I made myself some notes and hopefully I can keep the course. All right. This is still about Zettelkasten, but one of the reasons I'm using it is to keep track of my projects and other interests. So, that being said, I'm going to start with a project that is an embossing project that I've been working on, and I'm going back over the steps that it took to make it. And so I'm using that as my starting point for um, figuring out the different connecting points and like how that project is in essence informing this video and it's going to inform um, my subject matter for my starting cards on my Zettelkasten. So when I started the uh, embossing project, at this point, I didn't have any tiles. When you have a bunch of tiles and you can use them for all different projects, but to start with, I ended up selecting a more specific shape towards a cup. And that had, what did that have? That had um, an the arch shape, and I used that to make a pattern. And then the pattern informed what shape I was going to make my design. And I'm looking here. Then I created the embroidery work with that shape. Next, I chose the clay for the tile that I was going to make the impression on. I used a different clay for the project, but for the tiles, I used not one of my higher end um, clays. It was a good, decent clay, and it's a nice clay so far from what I know. I'm in this experience on my journey of learning, but it was the X15 moist pottery clay, and I had gotten that one from Hobby Lobby. And then I created a slab, and from there, I fired, after I made the impression in the slab and it dried, I fired it in the kiln. And then after that, um, I made the impression. I created a template for a pattern to cut out the size that I and shape that I needed for my cup. and then I made an impression on it. And from there, after I made the impression, I assembled the the cup and made a bottom for it. And from there, I let it dry, and then I bisqued it. And after I bisqued it, then I decorated it and I glazed it, and then I fired it. But the details of it and making this video is partly for notes, visual notes, which I'm going to add pictures in of the steps and try to line them up to the spots that when I was talking about it, because this journey includes learning how to make these videos for visual notes. And one of the things with um, memory, it's interesting. By having the visual notes, it's easier to remember the details. So that's part of the point right now, is just for practice and for learning how to use it. Um, each video, I'm trying to make it, well, what am I doing exactly? I don't want to make it too complicated, but I want it to be more advanced than the previous one, but not so advanced that I get paralyzed with the fact that it's so difficult to figure out. So it's like those slow forward movements to just a little bit each step will aid the learning. And the same thing with the Zettelkasten. Um, I have so many interests and so many things that I could make notes on, but I don't want to um, make it so difficult. So the best thing I came up with for myself right now is to take this project and to create um, a step by step for it. So let me see what I can do with this right now. Right now, I'm going to pause the video. I probably might need to just cut this part out, but let's see.